The world may be gripped with football fever, but there's plenty of sport happening, and as we know, we at Sports Today love actually covering sports across the globe. So, the F1 season has officially come to an end at long last. What seems like a very long season, especially if you're not a supporter of Red Bull Racing and Max Verstappen. However, if you are in fact a fan of Supermax and Red Bull, good news for you, your man has now won 14 straight races in this season. Not straight races, he's won 14 races through the campaign, and that means that now he is officially the man who has the record for the most number of race wins by one single driver through the course of a Formula One season. He's done that by winning by some effortless way, I may add, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. At least this time around, you can say there were no controversies, there was no Michael Massey, there was no late safety car. This time around, no contentiousness whatsoever. Verstappen quite deservedly takes home the victory, his 14th of the season, and now he is the undisputed king at the top when it comes to, of course, not just, of course, two-time world champion, but also the man who's taken the most race wins in a single season. Such has been the dominance of Red Bull in the 2022 season that it was really expected. No one really was surprised at this race result. However, bit of disappointment if you're a Red Bull fan. Remember, for weeks now they've been talking about finishing 1-2 in the World Drivers' Championship, a feat that Red Bull have never accomplished and which unfortunately they will not be accomplishing based on what has happened in this race, because they needed Sergio Perez to actually finish ahead of Leclerc for that to happen. Unfortunately, what did happen was that Leclerc has been categorized second. He takes second place. Sergio Perez only third fastest, which means he will in fact be finishing only third in the World Drivers' Championship as well. Hard luck if you're a Red Bull fan, but again, it really did seem like it was nothing more than just a bonus. The fact that they won their first, their second World Drivers' Championship in as many years and their first Constructors' Championship since 2013 would probably mean a lot more and take home for them a lot of positives from the 2022 season. And it's a good end to the season considering, of course, they had their issues found in breach of the budget cap in 2021, been handed, of course, or not just a fine, but also reduced aero testing time for next season. So, not great times ahead, but for now, they are the undisputed kings of the sport. We quickly go over the top 10 and where everyone finished. Carlos Sainz in 4th, George Russell of Mercedes in 5th, the only Mercedes to finish because Lewis Hamilton ended up having to retire the car due to multiple issues. Lando Norris comes home in 6th. Esteban Ocon 7th, Lance Stroll 8th, Daniel Ricciardo 9th, and Sebastian Vettel comes home taking that final points finish in what will be his final race, in fact, in F1, unless of course he decides to change his mind, and let's face facts, stranger things have happened in the sport. Beyond that, there were, a couple of notable retirements beyond just Hamilton. Nicholas Latifi, who played a key part in, of course, the race finish last year, also suffered a retirement this time around. And perhaps the most irritating one, which would have been for, of course, if you are a fan of Alpine or Team Enstone, Fernando Alonso could unfortunately not finish the race, and he too had to retire in what would be his final appearance for Team Enstone, unless, of course, he leaves Aston Martin and comes back to Renault. Who knows? As I said, stranger things have in fact happened, so we don't really know what exactly the future holds in that regard, but as of now, remember, Alonso will be leaving the team to join Aston Martin. So last race for him. Last race for a lot of races here as well, because as you know, tomorrow there will be testing going on, tire testing for the next season, which means a lot of the new drivers who've switched teams will be joining their teams to actually undergo that testing. But as things stand, it means no Formula One action till about March next year, which means I'm going to be at least a little bit sad because one of my favorite sports is entering its off-season phase. But on the bright side, FIFA World Cup is starting, so of course, plenty to look forward there as well. So that's it from this particular breaking news update. Thank you all so much for joining us. Don't forget that to smash that like button, share, subscribe, leave us a comment, tap that bell icon, all of that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as well. Thank you all once again for joining us. As always, I've been Shane Dias. I hope to see you with us through the duration of the World Cup and hopefully for the next F1 season as well. But for now, goodbye.